Merhabalar, iyi akşamlar herkese. Bu yayınımız Türkçe olacak. Battur konuğumuz. Moğolistan hakkında konuşacağız bu yayın boyunca. Altyazıyla beraber YouTube'a yükleyeceğim. Şu anda Twitch üzerinden bu yayını gerçekleştiriyoruz. Herkes hoş geldi diyelim. Hemen İngilizce bir şekilde konuğumuzla konuşalım. Sizin de sorularınızı yayın boyunca bu yayına eşlik eden arkadaşlardan alacağım. Moğolistan hakkında, gırtlak müziği hakkında, Moğolistan'daki inanç, Tengriizm vesaire, Türklere bakış açısı pek çok konuya gireceğiz. O halde uzatmadan giriyoruz. Battur, welcome. I also welcome every viewer. I am honored to have you here. Uh, welcome to my Twitch channel. How are you?
Yeah, good evening. Thank you. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm
And
fine.
yeah, hello for all the Turkish arkadaşımlar.
Arkadaşlar. Yeah, friends.
Arkadaşlar.
Nice try.
Okay. And I have one message for everyone.
We are listening.
Boğaz Köprüsü'nde seni sikerim. Hem Avrupa hem Asya seni görsün.
They are telling me your voice is kind of quiet. If you can boost it, but everyone understand what you said. They are. Oh, that's perfect now. It's
Okay,
like
okay, cool.
I can hear the voice of Cengiz Han.
Nice, nice.
And everyone enjoyed about what you said.
I also enjoyed as well.
Yeah. Whenever you see on the chat like random words, like random letters, it's Turkish way of laughing. They don't write
Nice,
lol,
nice.
lol. They just like random typing.
Cool, cool.
So they call me Mongolian lawyer in Turkey.
Nice.
And a lot of people ask me about Mongolia and Mongols and Genghis Khan and that kind of stuff. So I told them I will bring an expert on the topic. Uh, so we have you here. Again, thank you for coming here. You have honored us to be here.
Thank you for having me.
So, yeah,
Just one question before we begin our discussion. How
sure.
is the video? Is it lagging or it's flowing? Like
I think
fine.
I think it's fine because if it has a lag or drop, everyone would write.
Oh,
So
because-
no,
okay.
nobody is writing here. So I think everything is fine. Oh, they are telling your voice is still kind of quiet.
Alright, so I'll bring my microphone very close to my mouth then.
Yeah,
And it should be better now.
probably it will help. I
Okay.
just I receive your voice quite nice. Everything seems fine to me, but you know, viewers can feel different. So
Okay.
let's begin, shall we?
Yeah.
Can you introduce yourself to us? Who is Battur? We know you with a different name on YouTube, with the name of Hachapuri, and also with the name of Froggy. So can you just,
Man.
yeah, Batman?
And I have
Can you
also-
tell us
I have
about
also-
yourself? Yeah.
Do you have a food called Hachapuri in Turkey?
No, actually, it's Georgian
It's
bread.
Georgian food.
Yeah.
Yes. But I know that Turkish people have similar food. I
Yeah.
don't know how it's called though.
It's pide.
Ah, cool, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi, my name is Battur. I'm from Mongolia, and well, on YouTube I'm known as Batman or Froggy, but those are like my characters. Well, as a person, yeah, I'm a linguist. I'm a translator for Russian and English, and I studied in Moscow, and now I'm studying in Belgium. Doing like in my free time, I'm doing YouTube videos. Yeah, but right now I'm studying linguistics for my master's. Yeah, that's about it.
The voice quality is kind of bad right now. Maybe you can lower a little bit. I'm sorry, I'm just interrupting you a lot.
No worries. Yeah, sure. It's,
I think
how is it? Is it?
I think it's better right now. So
And how's the viewers?
they are just telling me the voice is boosted, so the quality a bit lowered.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah,
Yeah.
but we have to find a balance here.
Yes. So probably I'll bring it a bit down, but at the same time I'll bring the microphone close to my mouth so it'll
Yeah.
sound better.
I think so. So you are a linguist?
Yes, I'm a linguist.
On which language?
I would say my main language was Russian, but linguistics is the science of languages.
Ah,
so
all right.
basically we learn how languages are evolved, how it influences each other. So if you have any questions regarding Mongolian
Languages.
language and Turkish language and how they're connected, whether if they're in the same family group or if they're in different family groups, let me know because I can answer to those questions.
That's super cool because we are also interested in, I am also interested, and I know my viewers also interested in languages, history, religion, geography, that kind of stuff. So that's super cool. We have a lot of questions for you. I want to ask you why why the name Hachapuri?
Yes. So I had several Google accounts. I had like my main Google account, and then I had another device, and I had to create just an account on that device. So the first thing that came to my mind was Hachapuri, and then the second word was Hinkali, so I made it Hachapuri Hinkali. And after some time, I lost my access to my first account, and then I started using my random account as my main account. And when I created YouTube, that name stuck with the account.
Oh,
That's Hachapuri.
because I know you're Mongolian, and I also wonder, I mean, are you really interested in Georgian cuisine or something like that? Are you half Georgian even?
Well, I appreciate Georgian food. They're nice, especially Hachapuri. It's
Yeah.
very good.
I also like hinkali and harcho soup. Maybe, yeah,
They're very
it's
good.
kind of
But
spicy.
Hinkali, actually, we brought Hinkali.
You brought
Georgia.
hinkali to Georgia. There, it's a big discussion. Yeah.
It is, but it's true. Well, I can't really say Piotr Hinkali is Mongolian, but it's Asian, and we
Yeah.
brought it with ourselves to Georgia.
Yeah,
it's
that
kinda true.
different kinds of dumplings are very popular, almost from Central Europe to the end of Asia, all Asia. Like we call it mantı dumpling. Georgians call it hinkali. Mongolians call it booze. We will come to that topping. So it's a big discussion about like what's the origin, where did it came from, this kind of things. But yeah, I think Georgians didn't invent it because they are not Asian, they are Caucasian. So yeah, what you are saying is probably right. Yeah.
The origin is still mysterious. We don't really know, but probably one of the Asian countries did it.
Yeah, probably. And also, right now you said you live in Brussels, right?
So I live in Brussels.
So, because of the university or because of
Yes.
job?
Well, my parents want me to learn from Europeans, and Brussels is probably the best place to be in. Because a lot of internationals are working here, mostly from Europe. And yeah, this is the best place to get knowledge and experience, and
And
so I can bring it to Mongolia.
Hmm. And how many languages do you speak?
Uh, I speak on three languages properly.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be Mongolian, English, and Russian. But then I can understand a few other languages such as French, Spanish, German,
Wow.
but on a beginner level.
Wow. Super cool.
Of course, yeah, like once you start learning these kind of languages, you can kind of understand or like find common words in the neighboring languages. For example, if you learned Spanish, then you can kind of somehow understand Italian.
Italian, yeah.
Yeah, especially when you read text. So yeah, with Slavic languages, I can understand a few of the languages, but if I read them.
Because as we speak before the stream, I also learned a little bit Polish when I was in Poland. So after I learned that, I tried to understand Russian from the movies and like from the TV series, and I understand that some words are almost same. Like if I learn Russian, it's gonna be easier for me.
Yes.
So yeah, you are saying exactly true. Like because of the language family groups, you can understand better. So with more language you learned, it gets easier, I believe.
Yes, especially for the neighboring languages.
Yeah.
That's especially true. And with Russian or Polish, you just have to concentrate on what is Slavic. It's not. And if you find a Slavic word, you just add some of the grammar structures to it. And those are what we call the base bones, or like the skeleton of the language. They're usually very similar. And for example, you can go to Kazakhstan, and you can try to pick up the old Turkish words. You can somehow understand what they're saying, like use very primitive language, and you'll understand each other.
Right away, I want to ask you a question about Hungarian and Finnish, because there's a discussion in Turkey in the communities like pan-Turkist people. They are saying that they are from the same family group, but is it correct? Like Altaic, Uralic language? What are you thinking?
That's a very debated topic. Even the Altai language family, it's a very debated topic. And nowadays, it's not getting much support from the scientific community, but it is a nice thought. So why our languages are not the same root? They explain it this way. We don't have things that we call cognates, the true cognates. Cognates means words which we have in each languages, but they're straight from the root. So most of our common words are loan words. So you give me your word and then I give you my word. And that's how we have a lot of common words. But when you talk about super primitive things like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, those kind of words, they're a bit different. And that's why they're not from the same root, but we share a lot of things in common. For example, the structure of the language, where you have the root word and then you add suffixes and then you make different meanings out of that. That we share. We don't have gender in our language. What else? And it goes on. A lot of these interesting grammar aspects, we share them a lot. So it's very easy for me to learn Turkish, and for you it'll be very easy to learn Mongolian. Just
really?
The sounds might be a bit different, but the general mentality is the same. So for
like
example,
sentence creation or things like that, I believe.
Yes. For example, when you say in English, I'm going to a shop, it's I, and it's like a verb. Going is another verb. To is like, I forgot how it's called.
To direct you, maybe.
Yeah, that word. I forgot. Maybe it's auxiliary. I forgot the word. I'm such a bad linguist. And then,
no.
Shop is like the object of the thing. So it's subject, verb, object. But in Mongolian, it's the same structure will be said something like I to shop going am. I think in Turkish it will be something similar.
I just solved your voice problem. I just solved it. Now there is no sound level problem. I just put up a filter and I deleted it. Now it's perfectly fine. So
okay.
What is your I'm sorry, let me just say sorry to the viewers. Çok özür dilerim sayın izleyiciler. Benden kaynaklı bir problemmiş. Ses sorununu şimdi çözdük ama önceki kısımlarında anlaşıldığını düşünüyorum. Now they are saying that your sound is too loud. That's because of me. You can just set it to the normal level.
Yes, I just set it to the normal level. How is it?
Now I think it's now perfect.
Okay, that's great.
So the sentence was, I'm going to the shop.
Yes, I'm going to a shop. And the Mongolian will be I shop am.
Yeah,
and
we say it like we put the verb at the end.
The end.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's just same as Mongolian.
Yes.
So it would be
even
very
the words,
easy for us to learn, I guess.
You just have to know the words. Once you know the words, you also have to know the grammar thing, how it changes, and it changes quite similar. And you don't really have to think because, for example, with French, I have to think before I speak.
Yeah.
I have to put the words in the right position and the right form. And usually it's different. Sometimes the adjective comes after the noun. So it's like, it's not a black panther, it's like panther black. Quite strange for me.
Yeah. So they are very similar. I should learn Mongolian.
Yeah, it'll be easy. Like if you compare, like if you study Russian, like you study Polish, took you some effort. But if you learn Mongolian, it'll take you much less effort. I can guarantee that for sure.
Wow. I'm just like motivated to learn Mongolian. I hope I will find a course. So I also want to talk about throat singing. As far as I know, you are a throat singer, and also you are popular with your throat singing tutorials. I will ask one of my mods to put your channel's link to the chat. Garez, Hachapuri linkini koyabilir misin şeye? Chat'te dönsün, dolaşsın. Kanalının linkini koyabilir misin? How to throat sing yazınca çıkıyor. Bütün izleyicilere de tavsiye ediyorum gırtlak müziği dinlemek isteyenlere. I just told them if you are into throat singing, I recommend your channel and your tutorials.
Thank you.
I want to ask you about throat singing in general. Like, it's, I think, one of the most iconic fracture of Mongolian culture, especially in music, and also like the styles of it, like Kargera, Sigit, Hömey, and differences. And if you can demonstrate, it would be amazing for us.
Okay, so in throat singing culture, I would say there are only two main techniques, but depending on how you use them, you can kind of create a lot more different sounds. And usually when people say they have three techniques, but the third technique, which is Sigit, the whistling
variation.
Yeah, it's a variation of Hömey. So it's a overtone singing based on Hömey. So you do the Hömey first, and then you do the throat singing. No, overtone singing, and that's how you get Sigit.
So Hömey is like a backbone.
No, yes, it's a backbone. Yeah, and Sigurd is the additional thing.
Do you know the history of throat singing? Am I interrupting you too much? I'm sorry.
No worries. No, don't worry. It's like a natural conversation, so it's best you would discuss about this like this. About history, there are legends, but there are so many different theories out there. One of them is that there used to be like a river that ran through like lots of cliff rocks and maybe even a cave, I don't know. And because of the wind and the water sound through the rocks, it created that very strange vibration and lots of overtones in the wind. And the local people who listened to that sound, they were, they really loved the sound and they wanted to reproduce it when they're away. That's how they created Hömey or Hargra and all those things. But that's just one theory. And there's another theory that learned to sing this while trying to please the spirits of the nature through shamanic practices. Yeah. So when you do like shamans, we call them spiritual practitioners of Bo. They put themselves into a trance state using musical instruments, usually, not always, but most of the time. They sing, they beat the drum or play another instrument, and then they get into this very strange state of mind. And in that state of mind, when they try to praise the nature, maybe their throat came out they used a different sound, probably. And from there, maybe they learned this. I can say that, like, I can, confirm that because a few practitioners, they didn't learn Hömey or Hargra. They just did the practice, the spiritual practice. And while doing that, they've somehow managed to create similar sounds by themselves. They never had any lessons before. Yeah.
I think this throat singing voice, that sound coming from the throat, is one of the most interesting voice. I think not one of the most interesting sound a human being can make. That's my opinion. It's very interesting.
Well, I have another opinion on this.
Oh.
Yeah, so you might know from the previous song, Iji Mongol.
Yeah.
From Atlar, there is a woman singing a very high-pitched sound. That singing, a lot of people don't pay attention to it, but it's just that they've never listened to it live before. And if you listen to it live, it'll blow you away. I prefer that singing over overtone or like throat singing because so powerful. It's so powerful that it fills the whole room, and you feel it throughout your body when you listen to it. Yeah. When the person sings it live, it's
even now I have goosebumps. I just imagine.
But you have to listen to it live. Yeah.
I should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can. Yeah.
Yeah. Please continue.
Well, I was about to say I can demonstrate the differences of Hömey and Hargra.
Before that, I want to ask, Sigit sounds a bit like ıslık in Turkish, which means whistle. So, is it a same word?
It is.
Oh, nice.
So, Sigit is a Tuvan word, and in Tuvan it means whistle.
Ah, yeah. So, basically, so it's originally Turkish then, because Tuvan people is like Turkic. So,
well, the word itself, the Turkic word, have another word for it in our language, but it means the same thing, whistle. We say iskire, which is quite similar to how you said it. Islik, you said? In our case, it's iskire, so.
Oh, so it has same root. Yeah, and it belongs to the culture. I mean, both people use it.
Yeah. So it doesn't. It's quite difficult to claim it culturally. Probably, people who lived in that territory before Turks, before Mongols, they also might have had similar type of singing styles. It comes from the nature.
Yeah.
And anyone who lives in that nature makes that sound.
Yeah.
What I think.
This is also another discussion point, like, is words belong to the nations or geography, like, is dishes, like food, belongs to the geography or nations? Yeah, they are different discussion topics, actually.
They
So
are. Yeah.
about styles of throat singing, what are the differences, and can you demonstrate them?
Okay, I can demonstrate two main styles, and depending on how you use them, the way how you breathe, the way how you produce the sound, you can make them a bit different from each other, but they're mostly the same. Sometimes people say, hey, this one is different and that one is different. It's from this nation and it's from that nation. I don't buy that. They're all the same. They're all the same. Just how the artist wants to show it, that's how he shows it or she shows it. I can demonstrate you, but I have to turn down the volume a bit lower first.
Man. Sure.
So how can you, do you hear my sound?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's totally fine now.
This one is hargra or kargara, and it's the bass sound.
The sound gone now?
Gone.
Yeah, probably because if you reach some level, it just cuts off.
No, I think it's because of Discord.
Probably.
Because it only captures human's voice.
So you're
but
not.
This one
is unhuman, huh?
For Discord, yes.
Because of
okay, I'll try to demonstrate Hömey. I hope Discord won't, remove it.
Right.
Okay.
It's gone again. Yeah. You see, even modern technology cannot handle our culture.
Well, for those people who are interested, I have videos on YouTube. You can check them out.
Yeah, just check them out, people.
Yeah.
We can.
It's a bit unfortunate, but it's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. And thank you for demonstrating. And between these styles, the differentiation, can you tell us what is the differentiation between this Hömey and hargra?
Yeah. Okay. They're produced from different parts of voice. I would say throat. Hargra, it comes from what you call this kind of vibration in your vocal cord. Yeah. So first you have to learn this vibration, like I don't know if Discord captures it.
Yeah, it captured it.
Okay, so I have to learn this vibration and then add a vowel. That's how kargara is produced. But Hömey, it comes from another part of your throat where you do vocal fry. And in vocal fry, you can check it on YouTube. It's kind of that kind of sound. Usually, it's a bit more trembly, but that kind of sound. It's a bit higher, I think, a bit higher. And you just have to put a bit of force into it, and then you don't do the vocal fry, but you try to speak and sing from that part of the vocal cord, and you can produce what we call Hömey.
Oh, all right. So
yeah.
Another information for us. Thank you for that. Also, about Mongolian musicians, I want to ask you because
Mm-hmm.
now on my Spotify list, I
Mm-hmm.
just see like full of this throat singers, that kind of music. I'm really into it. So I'm also curious about your recommendations on Mongolian singers. I know just a few of them, like
Mm-hmm.
Batzorik Vanchik, probably
Mm-hmm.
one of the most famous or popular now in Turkey, and also like The Who, but it's rock band, but it has
Yeah.
also traditional singing, and also Anda Union, maybe you know, they are also
Yeah.
traditional,
Fine.
yeah,
A traditional folk
and
group.
Hangai, if I
Yes.
pronounced it correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There are other bands too. Altai Kai is
Mm-hmm.
from, I think you know them,
Altai.
but not,
Altai
yeah,
Republic.
they are from Altai. So,
Mm-hmm.
what are your recommendations on Mongolian
Well,
musicians?
uh, okay, before we go into Mongolians, do you know Yatha?
Yatha. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah, there are two ones.
Hmm.
And yeah, they're pretty good. They've been playing since the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And the band leader is well, he's influenced by Pink Floyd, kinda. And he plays Pink Floyd-ish type of music, but at the same time he sings his traditional songs. So you might have some common stuff with it, and you might understand some of their songs.
I
But
remember one of Yatha song, but it was like a rock song, like modern. It sounded very modern to me, not very
yes,
traditional. So it's also
yes,
an old band, as I understand, like from the 90s.
yeah, almost 30 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, well, they turned their traditional songs into modern songs. Not all of them, but most of their songs are traditional songs. Dingle Die and so on. Yeah, but if we're talking about Mongolian bands, you just mentioned most of the important bands. And I have to mention the song that you put in the beginning of this stream by Atlar.
Altanurak, yeah.
Yeah, I would say they're the one of the founding fathers of modern rock, folk music, Mongolian. Yeah, I would say they're the daddies. Yeah, I would really recommend their songs, but it's just that it's a bit difficult to say which songs to listen to because their songs have like deep meanings and a lot of analysis done, and you'll be able to appreciate it more. But usually they're more into this melancholic type of music where they discuss about human sins, the destructive behavior, and a bit more like sad topics.
I also
Very
saw
cool band.
one of your videos to analyze the Who's lyrics, like what do they mean in Mongolian mythology and history. Yeah, it was like brightening.
Thank you.
Enlightening, not brightening. I'm sorry about my broken English.
We all have it, man.
Oh, I forgot to ask you about your name's meaning.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Battur, let me explain first. Battur there is a Turkish word, Batur or Batır, or even Bahadır, is like its meaning is brave hero, kahraman,
Yes.
like hero. So, is it the same word or
No.
no?
Yeah. But you just said the word Bahadır, the last version, the oldest version, I think.
Oh, really?
And yes, So in our traditional script, we write it Bahadur,
Bahadur.
but nowadays we say Battur.
Battur.
Why? Because the sound between ba and a, yeah, baha, that sound is very soft. It eventually it got out from the language. Became Battur.
Battur.
Yeah, but my, you know, the capital of like Mongolia, which is Ulaanbaatar. Yeah, it means red warrior.
White warrior.
Red warrior.
Right.
Red.
Warrior.
Red. Like Kızıl.
Red warrior.
No. Yeah, red. Yeah.
Kızıl, kırmızı. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's interesting.
Yeah. My name, it comes from two words. The first word is abat or bato, means solid, firm, hard, and tur, which would be state. It means solid, firm state.
Oh.
Bato turo. That's how we would write it.
First, your first word, I mean your name's first word is still used in Turkish. Batu.
I think so.
Yeah,
yeah.
Batu. So, which means hard, solid, right?
Yeah. I think you use it as well. I've heard about it.
Yeah, we use it as a name, not in daily language, but there, like Batu name is still exists and it's popular name. We have even name like Batu Han, like yeah. So
there was a person with that name.
Yeah. So it's good to know. And on to the next topic. I want to ask you about the daily life in Mongolia, Mongolian way of life. And also, I think it's necessary to separate rural way of life in Mongolia and also the city life in Mongolia. So how is life in Mongolia?
Okay, so I was born and bred in city, and I was also living abroad for quite some time. Probably half of my life I've been living abroad.
Oh.
So yeah, I can only say from the perspective of the city life. I can tell you a few things about the rural life, but I didn't live through it. I just know about it. Other people. When it comes to city, it's almost the same as you would have other countries. Well, the only difference is that the temperature, the climate is very harsh. So the warm weather, the proper warm weather is only in July.
Oh.
So you can say that June is like spring, and August is like autumn. And starting from October all the way to March, we have winter.
Oh. Yeah, I heard about the harsh climate of Mongolia, and even like minus 50 degrees Celsius in the south, especially in the
No, not in the south. I would say in the west. In the west. Yeah, in the west there is a specific province called Oss province, and that province is right in the way of the Siberian cyclone thing.
Oh.
So the Siberian cold air from Yakutsk reaches all the way to Oss, and it hits there most. Well, of course, all the country receives it, but that's where we feel it most. And sometimes, yeah, you can feel minus 45 in that province.
Wow.
Yeah. Possible.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and in the Gobi Desert, yeah, during summer can reach plus 45. So it's a bit difficult place when it comes to weather.
Maybe
climate.
It is like in the world the most Santur got different, like how to say that, the most difference between day
Mm.
and night cycle happens in Gobi Desert, I believe.
I would say in most of the desert places, regions, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But Gobi, it's quite unique because it's the northernmost desert in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if you go like way north, then you'll have the Arctic deserts, which they have only snow. But when with sand and everything, Gobi is the most northern.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
So there, yeah, the temperature fluctuation is quite high in Gobi, and the rain doesn't fall much.
oh. And for Mongolia, it's quite big country for such small population, right? It's as big as two Turkeys, but with only 3
Mhm.
million people living in it, and half of the people living in the capital. So it's like a vast, like how to say,
Nothingness. Nothingness.
yeah, nothingness. Just steppes,
Okay.
probably.
There's
It's
a
very
reason.
interesting.
Okay, there is a reason. 100 years ago,
Hmm.
our like the entire population, yeah, we were living on our land, and the southern regions of our country, it was a better place to be because it was warm. There were more, how to say, more rain, lots of grass.
Better
Back then,
climate.
yes, because it's in the south.
Hmm.
Back then, our land was bigger than today. Yeah, and a lot of nomads, they would go to the south during the summer and have their livestock graze and so on. That's the most important part. And I think it was like about 1940s, close to 1950s. China had
Occupied.
came and then, yeah, I guess you could say occupied.
Yeah. Took the
And
inner Mongolia, right? Yeah.
yeah,
We'll
well,
get into the country relations thing, but that's very important on this topic. Yeah, so they
and
took the land.
from this history, we can say that I think more than half of our population was in the south at that time.
They didn't came back to north. They just
Uh,
stayed there.
because they couldn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they were just minding their own business, and one day people said, "Hey, you're in the Chinese territory now. Go back."
Oh. Oh, it's
Yeah.
very, very
So
unfortunate.
it
China
is.
did what China do, huh?
Yes, kinda. And yeah,
Oh,
a lot can be discussed on this, but it's a topic for later.
oh, all right. So, I want to ask about the rural parts of Mongolia. Like,
Mhm.
from what I heard and read, very young kids, like at around 5 years old,
Mhm.
even 4 or 6, they had to learn riding and like guiding the herds in the rural parts of Mongolia. They have to do that. Is it correct?
I have to say they start riding horses at the age of 2 or 3.
Really? How can do that? Because they are Mongolian. That's how
Yeah,
they do that.
well, their parents just put them on the horse and then give them the thing which we hold, and they
Mhm.
just follow the others. And yeah, and when they have to go down, their parents or brothers, sisters, siblings would take them down. And
Wow.
yeah, at around 4 or 5, they'd be able to climb their own horses. But you know, Mongolian horses tend to be
Small.
shorter.
Yeah, short.
Yeah, and they would ride only the young horses
like they have to do that, I guess, to live
Um,
a better life in rural parts.
yeah, I guess.
Take
Well, they
care
have
of
to. They have
themselves.
to.
Hmm.
But like at the young age, it's just those siblings. They want to bring their brothers or sisters with themselves, and then teach them a thing or two, just to have fun. And they learn it by having fun
Hmm.
at the young age.
Yeah. And
I've
also,
seen I've seen like a child, like a 1-year-old child. He was riding a wooden horse.
wooden.
That's what we do. Yeah,
Practicing for
1-year-old.
the next year.
Yeah, yeah,
Getting educated for the next year.
yeah, yeah.
And also there is um, from what I read again, there's a saying in Mongolia that says,
Mhm.
after the city ends, everyone has their own road. So because there are no like how to say um, highways in the rural parts, everyone goes from the steppes. Is it correct? No.
Y- yes and no, but yeah, it has some truth in it.
Hmm.
I would say we have those things called dirt road.
Hmm.
So it's like a road where everyone go quite a lot of times, and then you see the marks, follow that road, and usually those kind of roads are better than just riding in the steppe, because
Hmm.
riding in the steppe you can go up and down, up and down.
Yeah, maybe
But
there's a
yeah,
stone and other thing. Yeah.
but yeah, it's true that we don't have that many roads, but because the land is big, the
Hmm.
population is small, and there's not really much of an incentive to build highways all over the country. But we do have roads, like from the west to the east, from the north to the south, and to a few other big cities.
Hmm. And is like the population of horses like double of the people, I believe. Is it
More,
correct?
more, more.
More. But how they are
Uh,
used still? Like in rural
okay.
parts, people are still riding, or they just upgraded to the motor vehicles, or not? Or
Yes.
just because of the
Okay.
kniz and the meat, maybe? No?
Okay. I would say two horses, I guess. Like one type of
Hmm.
horse that would breed specifically to ride them. Like they're the ones best for riding.
Hmm.
The strong ones and also loyal ones. The ones that you can they listen to you and so on. And the others are mostly for livestock, just
Hmm.
for the milk
And the
and
meat.
yeah. So the ones that you ride, you don't eat them.
Hmm.
You're companions. But the other ones, yeah, they're fine. Just one of livestocks. And a long distance ride, I guess people nowadays would prefer cars or motorcycles.
Hmm.
Yeah, but for everything else, I think they would rather go with horses, especially if the land is quite, how to say, it's quite rough.
Hmm.
Yeah. So with the, cars and motorcycles, you can go like on a flat
Yeah.
terrain. But if it's like mountains, then
Yeah. On
it's not very ideal.
some surfaces, horses are still superior.
Yes, of course, of course.
Yeah.
That's true. In the forests and so on.
Hmm. And also about the Mongolian cuisine. I am really into the food culture, cuisine
Hmm.
of the world, but I
Hmm.
don't know much about Mongolian cuisine, and I have never seen a Mongolian restaurant in any country I've been. But I know
Yeah.
some of the uh, dishes name, like
Hmm.
booz, as we speak before, the dumpling, the horkok. I don't know if I pronounced it
It's fine.
correctly.
Yeah, it's good.
Budok.
Batuk.
Yeah, Bodok. And also one, I noted it here. Let me just check. Hushur.
Hoshor.
Hushur.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and all of them with meat. The whole
Yes.
Mongolian cuisine is built on meat, as I know.
Ye-
So, what can you tell us about it?
Okay. Like, I can say that we have three main ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
I guess first would be milk product, dairy product.
Mm-hmm.
Traditional. So we're talking about traditional food. And the second one would be meat. And the third one would be flour-based food, like wheat, dough.
Dough. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those are like three essentials, probably. But we don't add products into our meat-based food. They're separate. Products are more like snacks, but they still give us a lot of power and energy and vitamins and minerals and calciums to go through life. They're very important during the summer times. And yeah, like if you give me 4 ingredients, water, salt, meat, dough, I can probably make you like most of the Mongolian food.
Really?
Of course, they'll be super primitive,
Mm-hmm.
but in the countryside, those 4 ingredients are mostly used. And other types of vegetables, fruit, we don't use them that much, but in cities, yeah, we do use them. Just to add some tastes and city. Yeah, like it makes sense because that's what we have in nature. The nature gives us that. On nature, we can get the flour, the wheat, and we get the meat, we get the water, we get the salt. That's what we, and also the milk from livestock. And on that nature, that's the best thing that we can have. And I believe the ancestors of Turks, the Turkic people, they also had similar diet in the past.
Yeah, probably.
So since you moved to Anatolia,
Yeah.
I guess the food diversity comes.
Yeah.
The better climate.
Yeah, Turkish cuisine is quite famous, especially in Europe and close proximity of Turkey. But its variety comes from Anatolia, not from Middle Asia. But as you said, we have some food that is very similar with Mongolian cuisine. Like our mantı, like dumpling, is like almost same with buz. And also with hushur, we have çiğ börek, which means raw. Çiğ börek, you know.
I know.
Yeah, it comes from also like Tatar cuisine. Like it's also popular in Turkey right now. What I found very interesting is, I believe, budok.
Yes, it's very interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And also, what I mean, before this stream, I had to check on this cuisine, Mongolian cuisine. And what I realized is, in Peru, in the mountains, people make almost the same food, like budok.
I saw
Do you
it.
know it? Yeah, you saw it?
I
With hot
saw
stones.
video.
It's very interesting.
With all hot stones, and it gives them the different taste because it releases the mineral from the stones. Well, but they use potatoes because they have lots of potatoes.
Yeah.
But
But
the
not in
concept
the
is very similar. Yeah. Well, so when you're talking about food, we always have to consider what climate, what nature we're living in, what environment we're living in, and how we can make the best out of it.
Yeah.
And in the Central Asian environment, we don't really have a very good climate to grow food, to grow
Vegetables.
what you call vegetables and fruit. And in that case, we try to be creative. And I think that's when they started using rocks to heat their food. So Baltic, it's when you have that full like livestock or you're like any animal that you've hunted down. You clean it like inside and outside, kind of. And then you put like the meat, the organs, and then hot stones into it. And afterwards, you have to close it and then put it on a fire so that it can cook from within and from outside.
Yeah.
From inside and outside. And similar thing soldiers used to do in the past. Carry their own bowl and their chopsticks or whatever. Wherever they go, they had dried meat. So they take a bit of water, dried meat, a bit of salt, and then take a hot stone from fire, and put it into the bowl. And wait for maybe like 5-10 minutes till it stops boiling.
Yeah.
You create a soup. Like you create something to drink and eat. So it's a very creative way to survive in the nature environment.
There is a like pan. We call it saj tava. It's like a shield, a big pan, like a very similar to a bowl, but a big one. So in old times, like warriors, when they are on their horses, they are migrating, they are invading, raiding, I don't know. They carry it with one side, with the slopey side, they make a bread, and with the other side, like a bowly side, they make their food. So it's very practical.
Yes, it is. Oh, we also used to do that. So it's the shield that acts like a pan, and then arrow to act as a fork or something, and then you fry your meat or whatever. And you just said tava?
Yeah, tava.
Well, we have a similar word, which is tavuk.
Tavuk.
But tavuk means plate.
Plate.
I don't know if it's
I understand its root, because when a blacksmith hammers down an iron or any kind of metal, we say it like hammering it down on tavın. So it's, I think, coming from the tavın word root, like something hammered down, make it like flattened. I think tava is coming from this root.
Okay. In our language, we have a word to put something on something, like something on something, which is tavuk. And tavuk could be from that, but this is just my guess. But it doesn't mean it's true.
There's also one other word people reminded me. Plate means tabak in Turkish. Tabak.
Nice.
Maybe this one is the correct one.
Could be, yeah. I don't know. Maybe we got it from Turks.
Yeah, maybe we got it from Mongolians. Maybe we both get it from somewhere else and we use it. Yeah. Now I want to ask about like relations between Mongolia and other countries and people's opinion about them, like a bit political subject. As far as I know, Mongolia has some problem with China. Or is it correct? And with Russia, how is the relations and how is the general political situation in Mongolia?
Okay, I would not say we have a problem. Politically speaking, politically, economically speaking, we don't have a problem with them. We don't want to have a problem with them. And we also don't want to have a problem with Russia. So what our political stance is, we try to be as neutral as possible. treat all the countries as equally as possible. So we don't want to take any sides, make any strong political statement, position. That will hinder our development, political, economical development. So yeah, and say about problem, yeah, I know what you mean. It's something that we have right now with the Southern Mongolians in China. It's a sad topic, but our government at the moment, they don't have the courage to say anything against China. Yeah, so we don't wanna risk our economical development relations with China now, because we're quite dependent on them. Yeah, that's a sad topic. Yeah, but in any case, try to balance things as much as we can. So if Russia offers something good, we take it. If China offers something good, we take it. And if someone doesn't offer a good thing, then we go to the other side. And yeah, also there's this idea about the third neighbor. Third neighbor is all the country we share on this earth. And we also try to maintain very good ties with them as well. Yeah.
So is there a conflict between Russia and China on Mongolia? Like, are they trying to convince Mongolian politicians and leaders to get them to their side against the other one, or there's no such a thing?
I would say from geopolitical perspective, right? It always makes sense to have a bigger territory, and each territory has its own function. For example, Gobi Desert, the Altai Mountain, and natural resources, mines, all those things. They all have significant meanings to both sides, and they both want to have influence over that, and they don't want to give that influence to others. And I believe in a democratic and a capitalistic country, it is a very easy thing to do, to bring their people for their interest, like for the interest of other countries. Yeah. So I do believe that China and Russia and maybe some other bigger corporations like America or whatever, they try to have their own influence within the country. Yeah. Of course, we have to be vigilant and always, like try to get as much as we can from them.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But both neighbors are very powerful neighbors. I can imagine, like on the north, it's Russia, on the south, it's China. So there are no small neighbors that you can force on them. So, but I mean, if it's fine, if there is no conflict, border dispute, and such a thing, that's totally what we hope for, like peaceful.
Yes. Yeah, and we'll try to get as much benefits as we can, both sides. Yeah, it's like try to have win-win situation.
Yeah, that's good. I also want to ask you about religion in Mongolia. I just want to share what I thought before. I thought now in Mongolia, like most of the people, like majority believes in like Tengri, like shamanic rituals, but that was wrong, right? Like
that's wrong.
Like majority or in the believers, like majority in the believers believes in Buddhism, no, or they are just atheists or non-believers. Like, can you just enlighten us?
Yeah, okay. At least from the numbers, right? And from my experience, I can't really say on the behalf of all the population, but my idea is that quite a lot of people write down Buddhists when they're doing the survey, but of course you can't really go and ask every person, so you have to take some samples. Let's say we have 3 million people, and from 3 million people, I guess the best sample would be about, let's say 3,000 or maybe 30,000 at best. Very statistical research. And from those samples, probably a lot of people would go for Buddhism, maybe like 40% or 50%. But it's just a symbolical thing. They don't know the Buddhistic philosophy. Yeah, like the main foundational teachings of Buddha. And also, to be a Buddhist, a person has to first accept Buddha, accept like teacher, and accept Dharma, the 3 jewels of Buddhism. And once the person accepts those 3 jewels, he or she can, start the will of Dharma within themselves. Those people are what we call Buddhists. But people in Mongolia, like, very few of them accepted it, in my opinion. Just follow it, on the papers.
Oh.
Yeah. And also, when you mention about this traditional spiritual practice thing, people will not they won't say that they follow traditional belief. They'll never say it. Most of them will never say it. But they do the practices. Because
I can easily imagine, because situation is kind of similar in Turkey. I don't want to interrupt you so much, but like most of the people here says that they are Muslim, but like still majority of them don't know. They just know the basics, don't know the details about Islam, and they still practice the traditional religion in their daily life, and they don't know about it. So I can easily imagine.
It's very nice. For example, let's say when we have to travel to a long distance, let's say from one city to another city, then our like grandmas or our mothers would go outside with us, and then with a cup of milk, and then they would
throw it, right?
Throw it to the sky, to the land, and they would do some prayers with it to the sky, to the spirits, to the mountains, and so that we would have a safe journey, white road. That's from our traditional belief. And people will not say that they practice this traditional thing, the papers, but in real life they do. But like we had 70 years of socialism. Mongolia. We are the second socialist country in the world.
After Russia, right?
After USSR, And because of that, we became very materialistic, I would say. We stopped believing in all these kind of things and started paying attention to this life more. And in my opinion, well, at least me as a person, right? What I try to do is to have a bit more balanced way of seeing things. I don't want to be extreme on one end. That would create a lot of problems. That would limit my view. So I try to have traditional philosophy and teachings, and then Buddhistic teachings as well. I try to follow it, even though I haven't accepted everything. But still, I really appreciate and respect the Buddhistic teachings. And then scientific methods, where everything is based on logical arguments and evidences to prove your point. And though sometimes, in the roots, they don't really contradict much. Once you go to the surface level, they contradict each other. And that's really good, because think that something is permanent and you think you understand it, you know it, and then something comes up and it says, no, it doesn't really go that way. So it helps you to go towards your own view and try to be a bit more objective rather than subjective. Yeah. And just following one is quite bad, I think. It's like being an illusion.
So, as I understand from you, people in Mongolia, Mongolians are not very religious. On paper, they say, I mean, most of them, they say they are Buddhists, but in their daily life, they still practice the traditional religion.
So the word religion, we don't like it.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. No, because there is a reason, and it's a way of seeing things. Okay. When you say religion, it, at least from our perspective, it means you have to have a book to follow. Yeah, and you have to have a place to follow. You have to have people that follows this book, and they gather in this place. So, like most of the religions nowadays, we have for Christianity they have a Bible, they have Christians, and then they go to church. Yeah. Same goes to Islam as well.
Abrahamic religions, yeah.
Yes, and even Buddhism, they still have this kind of thing. But what we follow is just ancestral teachings, the experiences and knowledge, wisdom that's been accumulated throughout those hundreds and thousands of years. We just keep it going on. We believe that it helps and makes our life better. That's why we do it. And we don't have a book. We don't have a place. Just do it.
We have a...
So that's why...
töre, what we call, like unwritten rules, like tradition, culture, integrated into this, not like Abrahamic religions.
Yeah, unwritten stuff.
Yeah.
And that's why we don't consider it as a religion, but more like a tradition.
Yeah, yeah.
And culture.
Yeah. So, after the religion...
Yeah, and the last part, the last part.
Sure.
I believe that at least my approach, like everyone would say it, yeah, everyone would say their approach is the best. But I think my approach is quite useful for people. Why? Because first, when we deal with our traditional approach to life, this nature and respecting our parents and remembering our ancestors, that helps us to be rooted, like the more, how to say, more in harmony with our heart. Yeah, and then for Buddhism, it helps, it teaches us to be present and control our mind as much as we can. Because, you know, our mind can be filled with a lot of thoughts and emotions, but Buddhism helps us to see them and try to, you know, be in control as much as possible. And also it teaches ethics. And the third thing, which is science, it helps us to think rationally and be logical and rational in life, objective. So this kind of three approaches would balance a person very well, in my opinion, but it's not like the best option. Yeah, but this is what I prefer.
Yeah, it's I can understand. It's like getting benefit from all of them at the same time on different parts of your life and on different things. Yeah, it's a cool way to think.
Like if you concentrate only on one, let's say you concentrate only on science, then you don't have the power to control your thoughts. Yeah, and then you're not very well aligned with your heart, and that creates depression. If you're not in harmony with yourself, problem.
Yeah.
But if you're only concentrate on your heart, then you can't really understand, how to say, or persuade other people with logical arguments, for example.
How to think rationally and other stuff. Yeah.
And you would be more like on the emotional, intuitive plane, but not on the rational plane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's my way.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing with us.
And thank you for listening.
So also that was my that will be gonna my other question actually, but so Soviets really affected Mongolia, like with alphabet, with repression on religious people, maybe we can say, like governing style. What can you tell us about it?
It's a complex history. I would say it has its good and bad. The good part is that before Soviets came, our country was filled with monasteries. 1/3 of our male population were monks.
Oh.
Yeah, so our population was declining really fast.
Because they are not marrying and having children, right?
Yes. And also, it was filled with superstitions. Of course, like from one perspective, it's good that people's heart was in harmony, kinda. But from the other perspective, they were too religious. And if you become too religious, it's also a problem.
Yeah.
You don't really get to see other perspectives and so.
Blocks your mind in some way. Yeah.
Yes, it was used like a way for brainwashing us by the Manchurian government. And when Soviets came, they destroyed everything. Like 99.9% of all the religious things. Yeah, and
killed the monks.
Yes, about at least 20,000 monks.
Wow.
8 monks. So that's good. Like I would say that's a bad thing. But in any case, it was because of Stalin's order. And the good thing about Soviets is that they brought technology, they brought science, they brought development, Western culture. Like when it comes to world development, we were very outdated because of the Manchurian government colony. And within 70 years, we managed to become on par with almost every other countries in terms of culture and science. Educated people. That's what we very grateful for the Soviets. And when it comes to the bad things, I would say they destroyed their previous intellectuals because they were powerful. Yeah. The previous intellectuals, they had power over people, and those people were from the royal family, from noble families, who really had strong sense of identity and deep knowledge about our cultural life and so on. And they also killed and destroyed monks, monasteries where we had most of our documents, most of our texts, literature, dating like hundreds and thousands of years before. And not just that, artifacts, cultural items, so on, they were all destroyed. Most of them. Yeah.
So, if today most of the Mongolians are not religious, maybe that's also because of the Soviets' policy on Mongolia. And also, like Mongolians are also not very connected with their culture. I mean, not in daily life, like knowing. That's also because of the Stalinist policies. Is it correct?
Yes, to some degree. And also nowadays we have this democracy and capitalism. Western culture is here with us, and some people, how to say, prefer Western culture or our own. And well, I try not to be judgmental, but I end up
Yeah, yeah.
being quite judgmental towards it, that they speak foreign language
Mhm.
rather than Mongolian. That's what I don't like, but I should accept them as they come. But still, like Mongolian in me, like oh
Hurting you. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, there are like
but
similar discussions in Turkey as well to get more global, to get more. But on the other side, you have to give up yourself. You have to give up what you are. I think that's
Mhm,
meaningless, my opinion. Like, just be who you are and still
mhm,
get connected with the Western world, with the
yeah,
civilization. That's what I think. Yeah.
yeah. Well, it's a quite difficult topic, but that's what I would prefer for myself.
Hmm. Hmm.
But for other people, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, exactly.
But we need diversity,
Hmm.
probably. For some people, like there are Mongols who are more Mongol than me, like in terms of mentality.
Hmm.
And compared to them, I'm more like Western because of my behavior, right? Not anti-Mongolian right now.
Hmm.
And then there are people who are more Western compared to me. And
Mm.
I think we somehow fill each other's emptiness.
Hmm.
For example, if there are Mongol people out there who are truly Mongols,
Hmm.
like all the way to their like to how they talk and to how they behave, they'll have hard time communicating
Hmm.
foreigners.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where I come in because I'm a bit different. Yeah, people like me are a bit different, and we can help them to communicate with each other. And those people, they can preserve the Mongolian culture better than me. But at the same time, here today, I'm not as good as them, but I can help them to develop further. So we need diversity.
Yeah, you're right. And now we talked about like modern history of Mongolia, like what happened
Mhm,
in the Soviet era and
mhm,
to present time. I also want to ask you about like history of Mongolia, but on the surface level, because I mean we are not historians and this is not a history stream, but like from what we know about Mongolia, we
mhm,
only know about the, I mean, what they teach us in the schools, only about
mhm,
the Mongolian invasion of the West,
mhm,
like of the Genghis Khan and
mhm.
that kind of stuff. But what can you tell us about it, the empire and
Okay,
stuff?
I can tell you if you, I would say I would like to comment on two things
Hmm.
which are very important for our history, and a lot of education and media tend to leave out. And that would be, well, like it's about Genghis Khan, of course.
Yeah.
We can't really talk about history of Mongolia without mentioning him.
Yeah.
So a lot of people give him the credit for being the most awesome leader in the Central Asia. The thing about Genghis Khan is that I believe probably 90 to 95% of the credits shouldn't go to him.
Really?
Yeah, yes, because it's like let's say today someone invented, uh, the rocket flying to the moon today.
Yeah.
That is a result of hundreds and thousands of years of people polishing science, mathematics, physics in India, in China, Persia, Arabic countries, Egypt, and Europe. And so they were all building blocks on top of
Hmm.
blocks and blocks, and then accumulation of that efforts and research. It was like the result of that progress we can see on rockets and all
Yeah.
those great scientific developments.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is that Genghis Khan, he was a capable man. He was a very capable man, and he inherited all the wisdom, experience, knowledge of his ancestors, the people who came before him. all of those information, like how you deal with things, and the credits should go to his ancestors. Yeah, because without them, Cengiz Han wouldn't be able to do anything.
Yeah, but
and also, there's also another thing that his mother, she was like one of the main people who taught him how to live, how to survive. And another thing is that we know from history that he had a blood brother called Jamokh, who he had a war with, and they were both equal in powers. But the reason why Cengiz Han won was because people who followed Cengiz Han, they were more supportive. But the ones who followed Jamokh, he didn't support Jamokh as much as Cengiz Han. Yeah? They were more manipulative. And people surrounding Cengiz Han, very important people. Cengiz Han gets most of the credits, but everyone around him, surrounding him, and those people who came before him, they don't get much credit at all. That's one of the things which I wanted to tell about Cengiz Han. And you wanted to say something?
No, it wasn't as much important, but maybe this thing, like you are giving credit to the ancestors of Cengiz Han, because without them, Cengiz Han would be maybe nothing. But he
almost
also
nothing.
achieved such an amazing thing, like probably the biggest part of the known world at that time he conquered, like from the beginning of Asia to the Central Europe. I mean, what I was thinking is, like, you are trying to also criticize him to be like in some way like just conqueror, not like inventor or something like. But it wasn't something like that, right?
No, like that. It what I was trying to say is that he was standing on the shoulders of giants. That's what I wanted to say. And the second thing which I wanted to say was that conquering all those lands wasn't his main glory. It wasn't his main glory. His goal was different. He wanted to bring everyone in peace together in a very harmonious state where they have order and law, so that people will not, kill each other, deceive each other, and do all sorts of bad things to each other.
Harmony,
yeah, he wanted peace and harmony for the whole world. That was his main goal. But anyways, the glory of Cengiz Khan is not in conquering other countries. The main glory which he achieved in his lifetime was to bring people together. That was the main thing he did.
Under one banner, right?
Yes. Because at that time, there were so many people. There were people from different nationalities or ethnicities, right? There were different nomadic people. There were Mongolian people, communities in different forms and shapes. And then there were Turkic communities, different forms and shapes. There were Manchurians, ancestors of Manchurians. There were some other nomadic people as well. Territory. And they all had what you call, not they all, but most of them had grudges towards each other. For example, let's say someone attacked your community like 2 generations ago. They killed your grandparents, they took your livestock, they took the important things that you had, and your parents had to live in a very bad situation. And you were brought up in an environment where you grew up with hatred towards the other community. And your main soul of existence is to take revenge and take what's yours back from that other community. And that kind of strong emotion, hatred, yes, existed in all those communities, in most of those communities.
Yeah.
All hated each other. It was even worse than today's Balkan region. Right?
Yeah. We call it blood revenge. Like.
Yeah, blood revenge, yes, we have it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And it's very difficult to have people from those 2 different communities, or from all those different communities, all standing up together in one place, peacefully, without killing each other, yeah, and working together. That's a very difficult thing to achieve, really. Even without, like, even people without any grudges towards each other, it's very difficult to bring them together, you know, in a united country, right?
Yeah.
That's what he achieved. Thanks to that unity, the sense of law and order within one country and one identity. Yeah, they all come from different backgrounds, but after Cengiz Han, the first priority, the first identity, was a citizen of Mongolian Empire, and then the second priority became like, I'm from that tribe, or I'm from that clan, I'm from that community.
Yeah.
So they all became together, and that's what he achieved. And thanks to that achievement, thanks to that unity, we were able to conquer so many other territories. But without that, we could not do anything. We would just end up killing each other and make us weaker.
Yeah, he bring unity and justice under one banner, and even with conquerors, he bring them, gather them too under his banner. Yeah, that's
Yes,
how he.
it doesn't matter whether if you're, I don't know, Mongolian, Turkic, or Manchurian, or Chinese. Anyone who's under the country should be equal.
Yeah. Yeah. And Cengiz Han is now today is, I mean, how Mongolians think about him? Like, is he on the demigod level, or just a great leader, well respected man, of course, but how Mongolians see Cengiz Han?
Yeah, that's you just described him.
Yeah, demigod.
With all the words. No, everything. Yeah.
Oh.
It all depends on the person, but most of the time, I would say it starts from like a great leader, yeah, and it ends somewhere around demigod.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, like a scale from there.
Yeah. I put, as you see, his wallpaper behind us, and also on
I appreciate that.
Yeah, stream announcement. I put this great statue of him. Yeah, he's
I appreciate
well respected man in Mongolia, of course. And
also, yeah, like nowadays, well, people like to talk about his achievements, his success, and so on. But one thing which I find to be a bit unfortunate, why people don't talk about it more, is that they should be talking about his teachings, his wisdom more, because that's what matters. Leave that, so what? Yeah. Today we're not doing anything as close to as he was doing in his time, and we can remember him, yeah. But what are we gonna get it from that? Nothing, yeah. We can feel pride, but nothing more. But what we can do right now is to talk about his wisdom, philosophy, and why he did things. Those are the things that we should be talking today. I think that makes more sense. That will give us more, how to say, idea about how to be a better person.
Exactly. Now in Turkey, as you know, there is like a political view of getting back to Great Ottoman time, like big lands, conquering everywhere, like Neo-Ottomanism we call it. But they are focusing on the wrong end. They should focus on the justice, the system, the order, like what you are saying. They like just focusing on the conquerors of Cengiz Han is wrong, because even if he is a war machine, like war god, what he bring is a justice and unity. Like it's the hardest thing to achieve. Like you can conquer, but bringing them under one banner, gathering them, and giving the justice, giving the unity, providing the unity, that is harder, I believe.
Yes, much harder. Yeah, and I would say his main teachings,
Mm-hmm.
his main wisdom. Yeah, we have only a few of it left, but based on what I've read,
Mm-hmm.
he focuses on the self first. You have to build yourself, like as a person from within, from your heart. That's his main concern. Once you are in harmony with yourself,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Once you can decide things from the core, then you can build your own house. You can build your own family. And if you manage to build your own family, yeah, in a harmonious way, that everyone loves and respects each other and so on, then you can bring that experience to your country, to your community.
Yeah.
So it's like person first, then family, and country.
Step by step.
Because let's say today you haven't fixed your heart yet. By fixing your heart, it means you don't see the truth. Yeah, you don't see the objectivity. You see things at what you desire to see. You're living in illusion, and you want something like certain people. Why? Because of certain reasons, and so on. And if your heart, your core is not fixed in a proper way, and then you try to bring changes to the world, then you'll end up creating more chaos rather than harmony. Yeah. Because you don't know what you want.
Yeah.
And his teachings usually focuses on the heart a lot. But then it goes further.
Of course, I think so. You watched the Mongol movie, and I want to ask your opinion about the movie. What do you think? Is it good movie? You recommend it, like, or it's just a cinematic fault, or?
Okay.
What do you
So, like, the movie itself, yeah, I can't really blame it because the movie itself was not meant to be 100% historically accurate film. It wasn't meant for that. It did meant to create, like, represent what happened back then, but with a bit of movie twist, yeah, of artistic twist. So I would say, in terms of historical accuracy, maybe it's like about 80 to 85%, and then the rest of it is more fictional. And in terms of cinematography and all those cool effects and techniques, yeah, it's a very good movie. In terms of just movie itself, not historical movie, just movie itself, it's good. It's really good. But if we're talking about historical aspects of it, there's something more better than that movie. It's a TV series made by China, and a lot of Southern Mongolians played in that movie.
Oh.
In that TV series, but it has 30 episodes, I believe. And that one is, I think it's called Cengiz Han.
Oh.
Yeah, and that one is probably like 95 to 99% historically accurate, at least from what we know. Yeah, it's a very accurate movie.
I will check it.
Yeah, and the way how it's done is really good. We love it. I think I watched it 2-3 times, or maybe even more.
Oh.
And it's just very interesting to watch.
I should check it. For the movie, I think, yeah, as you said, the cinematography, the makeups, like costumes and everything, scenes, everything was good. But they skipped a lot of things in Cengiz Han's life. Like how he gathered all the tribes, how he gathered people under his command. Like there's a big gap in it. I didn't like that gap. Maybe the director required another movie for that to show.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the TV series which I'm talking about, it has 30 episodes, and each episode is about 50 minutes or something, 40, 50 minutes. And you just compare that with normal movie, because that movie that you're talking about, it's like, I believe it's maximum 2 hours long. So you can't really put everything in there. It's when you're talking about conquering people or gathering people, it was a whole process on its own. So you can't fit them, push them all together in one movie.
Yeah.
So the movie team, they did very good. Resources they had, with the limits they had, they did really good.
So, but good to know about that TV series. I will definitely check it. And also, I want to ask you about maybe the most important question, what everyone is curious about, is Mongolians' opinion about Turks and modern Turkey. Are they even thinking about us? How are they seeing us from there?
Okay, so I can't tell you what they think, because I can't really speak on their behalf. But what I can tell you is what kind of perception I had and I have. So it's when I was back in Mongolia, when I was back in the community before going abroad and learning all these kind of things, I did see Turkey two different ways. Yeah, it's like mixed feelings, and I think a lot of people still carry this kind of feeling. First feeling is that we appreciate that there are people way like ahead in the West, which carry culture, a common mythology, belief, and common history. And yeah, we have interesting mythologies like Tengri and all those interesting stories, fairy tales, words. Yeah. And we appreciate that. We see sometimes, like from that perspective, we see you all as our brothers, as our extended cousins, relatives. Yeah, with common history. And then the other perspective, which I used to have in the past, is that since you all settled down and you stopped living like, the nomadic life,
we betrayed them.
And you also, kinda, and you also got mixed with the locals, and you don't look like one of us. You look more like Europeans or Middle Easterns. So from that perspective, yeah. From that perspective, we're like, like your failed brothers, But that's the perspective which I used to have. This two conflicting, One perspective, we appreciate people who have common history, and from another perspective, it's like, why did you lose it? But now, after living abroad and in the history, at least the general history, it makes sense. Why you went that way, and I think your ancestors, your forefathers, they decided to move there, to live there, all because they thought it would be best for their descendants. So they had best interest for you. And maybe from one perspective, you did lose some of your cultural aspects, but from another perspective, you gained so much more. You gained so much more from all the neighboring countries, people, science, warfare, and even geopolitically speaking, you have a very nice place to live in. Trade for economy and so on. And from that perspective, yes, I don't really blame you all. I think you just decided to develop differently than us. We decided to stay where we're most comfortable. As ancestors of modern Turkish people, they wanted something more. And they moved to places where grass grows, there's more water,
more fertility of the soil.
And also, Greek people, they're beautiful, so I don't really blame you all.
New lands to raid, new women
New
to get.
people. Yeah. I don't blame you all. Yeah, they're beautiful. So
Thank you. Don't judge us, please.
yeah. So now I don't judge. I just accept you as you are. So
Yeah. I'm kidding, of course. But from our perspective to Mongolia, people like me sees Mongolia as a like brother state, like because our like what people like me thinks is our ancestors were sharing the same culture, like same geography, same way of life, and also like as you said, like a relative people, because we share a lot of things, especially in the past. But now, what you are saying is exactly true. Like we gave up some things that belongs to our past, but we gained maybe much more new things. And also, I think one of the reason behind it is maybe like of course the migration, new place to live, new geography, but also religion, I believe so. Because when we changed, like Turks changed their religion on like grand population level, like when they became Muslim, they embraced a new lifestyle. So they have to give up some characteristic features of them. And now, like people don't like me sees Mongolia like our like how to say past but wrong past. Like can you understand? Not my thinking, but like they are seeing like like time before we found the true faith. That's how they see it like that.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's also because of the government's government's TV series, like kind of making a propaganda of it, like showing Mongolians like an enemy inside Anatolia. Yes, we fought, but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, but also, but we also get into the same banner of the Cengiz Han,
Yeah.
like, and also
Yeah.
like in the first Turkish Khanate of Middle East, Göktürk we call it. It's
Blue Turks.
Blue Turks, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Because
have
we also have the word
which word?
You say guk, yeah?
Gök, yeah.
We
Sky.
we no, guk it means blue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
blue and sky, yeah.
Well, for us, the word cook or huk, like the modern Halk dialect is huk, but if in the West, they also say cook. That is the color of the sky.
Yeah.
Yes, so we'll say kuktingir.
Gök Tengri, yeah, we call it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like sky Tengri and also blue
Or
Tengri.
blue sky, yeah.
Blue sky. I have even also the word gökbörü, maybe you know it, like a blue wolf. Börü.
We say chan, hukchan.
Gökçen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
It's
have
like,
even the
symbol.
flag of Göktürk with me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With the wolf.
I can show, yeah, with the wolf and with the sorry, that way. Like, right? Am I showing?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is
Nice.
yeah. So in that time, the Karakorum was the capital. So Mongolians were under our banner in that specific time. So there is no importance of who led, but I mean it's less not very, very important, but
Okay.
like what I see from here, from Turkey to, I'm, excuse my broken English, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's,
What I'm trying to say is, I feel like they are our relatives, like Mongolian people, and also Mongolia.
yeah, yeah.
But some people try to change it in a way, like
Mhm. Yeah.
as I told you before. But
Mhm.
we respect our past, like vast majority of
Mhm.
Turks. Let me just grab it. Yeah.
Well, like, can say that, well, the roots could be a bit different,
Mhm.
but throughout the history, we had so many intermarriages, and we lived in the same territory. Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if I have like a small amount of Turkic blood. I wouldn't be surprised, but that would be like at least 5 to 10 generations before me.
Mhm.
But at that time, we were living more and peaceful together. Now there is a bit of segregation between the Mongolian community and the Turkic communities, but the past, no, we're living very peacefully together
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah.
At least after the Cengiz Han. And one interesting thing which I would like to tell to the Turkish people is the meaning of Tengri or Tengr, sky. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not something that we see, like it is, but it goes a bit beyond the thing that we see on the sky. Yeah, it's a bit beyond than that. Of course, we can't really define it
Mhm.
probably our words. But the closest that we can get to it would be the true nature of the universe's empty existence.
Hmm.
It's a quite difficult sentence, but if we
explain.
just
Mhm.
okay, so in this universe there is a vast amount of nothingness,
Mhm.
right? And that nothingness is almost as similar as how when you close your eyes. When you close your eyes, you see nothingness,
Mhm.
but you still exist within your mind. Yeah. And the true nature of your existence, yeah, when you close your eyes and in that nothingness, true core of that existence is what we call a Tengr.
Hmm.
And ideally speaking, everyone has their own Tengr. So you have Tengr inside you. And if you look deeper to yourself, yeah, there are so many different ways of you can do it. Imaginations, you can do it. You can actually contact inside of you. And he or she will tell you, or it will tell you what you want to know. And also, yeah, that's what we believe.
So it's very
Yeah.
spiritual thing.
Yes, yeah, and we can go even further. Yeah, the Tengri is divided into 99 Tengris, and then from the right, from the left, the right is the white, loving, compassionate Tengris, and the left is more wrathful Tengris. Goes on. That's mythological part, but at least what I know, yeah, you remember the wisdom of Cengiz Han when you work with yourself, with your heart. In your heart, yeah, if you can truly work with it, you can find Tengr there.
Yeah.
And it helps a lot.
And on we now have almost coming to the 2 hours of our stream, so I don't want to like keep holding you here, but just a few topics left, and one of them is the Mongolian alphabet. Now they are using, I mean, Mongolian people using the Cyrillic alphabet, But there is also an old scripture, Mongolian scripture,
Yeah.
traditional one, and I just want to hear about it from you, like how
Yes.
how many people using it? Do they know it?
Yeah.
Everyone, yeah.
Yeah. So on the territory of modern like Central Asia, the Altai region and so on, there were so many nomadic people out there, and they all had different. Not all of them, but most of them had different writing things. And I think I know at least 7 or 8 different types of alphabets that existed before. Yeah.
Oh.
And about the one that we used to use before, we started using it since the 13th century. We got it from Uyghurs, and Uyghurs got it from Sogds, the Persian people. And Sogds got it from West, from one of those Aramaic people. And Aramaics got it from Phoenicians. But anyways, so we've been using it all the way since all the way until the middle of 20th century. And we had Soviet influence. And at that time, there were a few reasons we had to switch to a different alphabet. One of them was that it was quite tricky to write foreign names and so on. And the other reason is political. The Soviets, it was better if we changed the alphabet. And yeah, it's a good thing, it's a bad thing, but yeah, from perspective of good thing, yeah, we write how we speak with the Cyrillic. But the old script, it was invented, I wouldn't say invented, it was adopted 800 years ago. When we write with the old script, we write the way how people used to speak 800 years ago. So it's the pronunciation of the words differ very greatly, and it was a bit difficult, but at the same time it's more natural for. But nowadays, a lot of us know the old script, but it's a bit difficult to write and read properly. Yeah, we know it halfway. But people from the southern Mongolia, in the Chinese territory, they know it very well. They read, they write. But right now it's being taken away from them.
So, but is the official language? Official language is of course Mongolian, but in the like official state buildings, they are just using Cyrillic alphabet, right? Not old scripture.
They're trying to integrate all scripture with it. So, but little by little, some of the important documents have both sides.
Oh, it's interesting. So you know both of the alphabets, I believe.
I personally, my skill with reading old scripture is poor because I was studying abroad when I was young, and then I came back to Mongolia, and I kind of missed out on those years where students studied properly. So yeah, I'm quite weak in that department.
All right. Now the topic we talked about, like the common words between Mongolian
common words
and Turkish, and then we can finish because I am also kind of tired. I took your time too much.
No worries.
We can just check the list of common words, and we can share with each other. Do you want to start, or I can start if you want?
Yeah, please tell me. Like you have, I think you have the list.
Yeah. I found the list from the body. We call chest göğüs, and in Mongolian, it's written here. It's kökün. Is it correct? No.
That's the way how you said it. It's in the old scripture.
Oh.
Yeah, but the modern dialect, we like the official language, based on Halk dialect. It's yeah, but it's it's kind of pressed.
And also the veins, we call it damar, and it's in Mongolian it's tamar. No, this list is this list bullshit? No.
No, that could be a word. A lot of synonyms for body parts. Yeah, and some of them are passive words, the ones that we don't use. So it's highly possible that we use it.
And for rock, we say kaya. And it's in Mongolian it says it's kada. Rock, no?
Okay, so yeah, the modern dialect, we make like k sound into h. So, for example, when you say kara, which is black, we say har.
Har.
Yeah, and then when you go to the Western Mongolia, the Oirets and so on, they say kar.
Kar.
Yeah. So, like when you say stone or cliff, the big rock stones, we call it hat.
Hat.
But it's a hat. Yeah, it should be a hat.
So it's a bit different then. But
because of the language developments. Say when you say kara, it makes you make a bit more effort to say it. But if you say har, like, makes it a bit more simple, kinda. So in our language, we simplified this part, our speech. For example, in your language, you might have had a bit more complex words in the past, but you made it simple. Language always simplifies.
Yeah.
So the roots are the same, just pronunciations are different.
Yeah, to make pronunciation easier, it simplifies. And I believe this one, you realize it's common maybe. We call iron demir. So temir. Yeah. Oh, finally, I'm happy.
Yeah.
And also the original name of Cengiz Han is Temujin, which means Temurcin, like demirci, we call it in Turkish. Iron man, like but blacksmith. I mean blacksmith. Yeah. Iron man.
I was watching one of your videos, but it was mostly in Turkish, so I didn't understand much. But you were talking about the geographical location of Turkey and so on. And then I heard like a very similar word. You said Karadeniz.
Yeah, Karadeniz, Black Sea.
Yeah, we would say Hartingiz.
Hartingiz.
Yeah.
It's almost same.
Yeah, very similar.
Yeah. And also I'm looking for verbs now. Like samak, we say it. You say it sa maybe. Like from the cow. You get the milk. Yeah. We call it samak. So is it sa in Mongolian?
Yeah, sah. Yeah.
Sah.
Yeah, but that's the infinitive form. When you say do it, you just say sa.
Sa. Yeah. We say it same, like sa. Do that. And also korumak, we call it to guard. Koru or koru, maybe like to protect. Or maybe it has a different meaning in Mongolian.
Well, we have a bit similar word, but not like that. What does it say in the list?
In the list, it says like korumak is like to guard, to protect in Turkish. Korumak. And it says koru with the Q. Qori. No.
I can't say for sure, but we have a similar word, which is the guard.
Guard.
Security guard, let's say. We would say harol.
So it's maybe different. Maybe the meaning.
Well, harol, it's the historical pronunciation would be Karol, and that sounds closest to what you just said, to guard something. Yeah.
And also sormak, question, like asking, soru, we say.
Wait, it's not, well, for us, it's not a question, but it's to learn.
To learn.
Yes. Yeah.
How is it in Mongolian?
Soruch.
Soruch.
Yeah. So when you say ach, it's the infinitive form. And then you can add anything like sor, it means to learn.
We say sor to ask, but like, yeah. We can
you ask something and you learn something.
Yeah, you learn something. And my friend is asking about the ranks in Mongolian, like probably he's asking about the ranks in military.
So
like Tümen.
Well, those kind of words, yeah, that's the historical words. Nowadays, I don't know, the word for general is Genjing. I don't know if you have it.
Genjing.
Yeah. Well, probably it's from another language then. Yeah, I guess so. We might have some. Yes, Tsirk. It's warrior.
Tsirk.
Yeah, I think you have it.
Tsirk.
Yeah, you have so many words for warrior, for soldiers.
Yeah.
And one of them is Tsirik or Tsirik. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, maybe one of the people from chat can get it and write, but I don't realize which one was that one.
Yeah.
And also for deer, it's Ceylan in Turkish, Ceylan, and Cegeren in Mongolian, Cegeren, no.
It is possible. It is possible. Deers come in different forms, varieties, and we have names for all those different forms. I know the general names, but after that, it's like, no, my vocabulary is quite low. But like, since I didn't live close to the nature.
And what you say to chicken?
Eka.
Again, please.
Eka.
Oh, it's written takia here, tavuk.
Takia, it's the historical pronunciation.
Right.
And the modern, at least my dialect, is takia. Like k becomes h. So.
It's tavuk in Turkish, so they are coming from the same root, probably.
Probably, yeah. Okay, I can tell you something very interesting. I think your viewers, the Turkish community, they would appreciate it a lot. You know, in Russia, there's a lake called Baikal.
Baikal, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what it means?
Baikal. I don't know the meaning.
Okay. If I tell you, you would appreciate it.
All right.
There are two different theories of etymology. There are several more, but I'll concentrate on two. One of the theories of the etymology of that word is language. We have this word called bagal. Bagal means nature. And we say bagal nor or bagal tala, which means bagal lake or bagal ocean. Another theory, which one of our linguists offered, is that it comes from a Turkic origin. And it comes from two words. Bay, it's the word for rich. Yeah. How do you say rich?
Witch as a magic making witch, no? Just witch.
Bay.
Bay, hangi we say it. Hangi.
But I think you should have a word called bay. But maybe an old word. Bay, which meant rich.
For I mean, we have the same word as bay as a mister, like bay, like someone respected bey, or maybe we call it like the Tengri's name is Ülgen, we can call it Bay Ülgen, like this kind of name.
It could be from the same root, just a different meaning depending on the context, but the word is the same. And the second word, like Bagal, Baikal. So you have Bay, and then the Turkish word for lake, which is Kul. So Bay Kul.
Wow.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's also a very big lake, which is located not far away from Baikal, but it's in the territory of Mongolia. A very good one with water and so on. We call it Hufskulnor. And the word Hufskul, it sounds like our word Hufskur, which means floating, like fluffy. That linguist, he said, well, the origin of this word doesn't mean it's be and floating type of word. No, it's not. The origin has a Turkic origin, which meant kuk sukul.
Kuk sukul.
Yeah. So, meaning that it has blue water. The lake with blue water.
Göksu. Yeah. Yeah, Göksu, kuk sukul. Yeah. Su is water, then, yeah.
Water, yeah. And kul is the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, if you travel to Mongolia, you can maybe visit and you can say it could be from Turkish origin.
Yeah.
That's the theory.
Yeah. Interesting. And for the soldier, you said Sirek. No, how was it?
Tsirk.
We have asker. So asker probably coming from that word.
Asker?
Yeah.
Strange.
Yeah, just erase the A, like Sigir, maybe. Sirek, probably coming from. Oh no, asker is coming from Arabic. One of my viewers is writing. So anyway, what we have here? Altın, altan.
Yeah.
Yeah, gold.
That's a common word.
Yeah. Kara, har. Ordu, army.
Yeah. Well, yes, but okay. So today we had this discussion on this word.
On Discord.
On Discord, yes.
Yeah, I saw it.
So ordu, it comes from the Turkish word, but at least the one that is recorded in Western dictionary. We also have this word. In the Western dictionary, ordu means royal camp for army. But in my language, at least the one that I know of, it means the royal palace. So it's basically the same thing. Like back in the good old days, royal palace was our camp where soldiers used to reside in. And that changed its meaning after some time. And ort, or horde in English,
horde,
meant army, but it comes from Turkic word or also Mongolian word.
Yeah, for the horde.
Yeah, for the horde, yeah. And this Mongolian Khanate in the Russian territory, it was called like Golden Horde.
Yeah.
Right?
Altın
in my language,
we call it Altın.
Yeah. Horde.
And ulus is also a common word. Ulus.
Land, people.
Yeah.
Tree.
Nation. Yeah, people. Elma, you have for apple. Elma, alma.
Yeah. Elim.
Yeah. Bal, same. Su, usun. Süt, sün. I'm making a strike.
Really? Okay. I know this. The previous capital of Kazakhstan, Alma-Ata.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the father apple.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also have the word Ata, but it's used for a very specific old language. When we say Ata Tauntinger, the great old 5 skies.
Do you know about Atatürk? Founder of
Can I say a bad word about him?
No, please no.
Oh. Well,
Why?
just
Why would you?
it's not that bad. It's just a historical fact. I heard that he was drunk all the time.
Oh, it's just Erdogan's propaganda. No,
Okay.
I mean he founded the republic. He saved us. I mean, if he's drunk and he did that, imagine what he can achieve if he is not. So that's complete against propaganda.
Okay.
Yeah, he
Well,
drink
that's
a
what.
lot. He drink a lot, and many religious people in Turkey don't like it about him.
Mhm.
But they just keep their nose on their business. I mean, they can't force anyone, any other people to what they believe. So yeah,
Can,
but you
can I
you
tell
know
you?
him, yeah.
Can I tell you interesting information?
Sure.
It's just personal information about me. So I used to live in Mongolia I would say close to the central part of Ulaanbaatar.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would say in the center. And there was a school probably like 400 meters away from my apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And that school was a school named after Ataturk.
Really?
And in front of that school there was a small like a
Statue of him, büst.
statue of Ataturk.
Wow.
So
Probably
yeah,
Turkish, one of the government's organization builded it or helped it. That's why
it
it's
is highly
named
possible.
like
Yeah.
yeah. Because in Mongolia there is Turkish, how to say, monoliths with all Turkic scripture written on it, like Tonyukuk monolith and also Orhun
Yeah.
monoliths. And they were
Yeah.
also kind of renovated and repaired by the Turkish organizations. So probably they also built some schools there. That's why they named it Ataturk.
Probably. Yeah. My grandma is from the Orhun region. It's Orhun River. Yeah. And well, there is a possibility. There is a possibility that I might have a bit of Turkic blood because of that.
Oh, yeah, it's possible.
Yeah. Well, at least that's what my grandma sometimes says. Like she says, well, there is a possibility.
Yeah. And for honey, it's bal in Turkish. It's same.
Yes, but we just have to specify it. So we
Oh,
have to say honey, bee, bee honey. So we have to say bee honey.
behind.
So we have to say 조김밥.
All right. My list is, I mean, completed. There is one other word, cha. We call it to age, like era, cha. Do you have it? Cha,
What does the list say?
like the, it says cha in Turkish and cha in Mongolian. It says here. It means like cha of Ottomans, cha of Cengiz, like age of Cengiz, like Ottoman age.
Wait. I don't know if you mean the same thing, but the hour, time, or hour, we say tak.
Maybe that's what it is.
And this is one of the historical developments in our language. The sound ch became ts.
Ts.
Yeah. So, for example, the word white, we would say, like in my dialect, we would say tsaran. In the other dialects, they would say chagan.
Chagan.
Yeah. So it always changes. Even in the old scripture, we use one letter. We pronounce it differently depending on the region.
Oh.
So some people might say chak.
Chak. Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's very similar. By the way, we have now my chat is writing that there's a word for soldier, cheri or cherik in Turkish.
Yeah.
Probably that one is a common word with serek.
Yeah, probably.
Cheri,
yeah. One of our Turkish brother in my community, he said that Turkish language has one of the synonyms. Yeah, it's I can't pronounce his name correctly. I'll try. His name is also in your community. Aylardır alıyum.
Yeah.
He gave this word. Yeah. Hi, if he's watching.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. I love him.
So.
Yeah, just a word for him. Ben seni seviyorum. No homo.
No homo.
Yeah.
Ben de seni. I know you too, I said. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And they're writing about nur for the face.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Nur, yes.
It's yüz,
and
in Turkish, yüz.
Yüz.
Nur. Nur,
okay.
Nur, then yüz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, like the Arabic has a different word, nur, which is light, and I always called my Arabic friends as face, like your name is like face in my language.
Yeah, do you have a list of common words or in your mind?
I don't have, well, I think I have more like words in my mind. For example, ambassador. We say elçin or ilç.
We say it elçi.
Yeah. And yes, and another interesting thing is Hungarian language.
Yeah.
So we have Mongolian or Turkic and then Hungarian.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting because sometimes we all share common words. Sometimes Turkic and then Hungarian languages have common words, and sometimes Hungarian and Mongolian have common words. So it's quite interesting. How did it come that way? For like, how do you say the word for twin?
For what?
Twin.
Twin. We say ikiz.
Ikiz.
Ikiz.
Okay, cool. We say ihir.
İhir.
Yeah, and
so
then
the two is iki in Mongolian. Two.
No, hayır.
Oh, it's different.
Hayır. It's a bit different, yeah.
Yeah.
Then Hungarians, they say something like ikre or something like that. So that's one of the words we have share like in common. And the word for lion, arslan.
Arslan.
We also have it. All these three languages have it.
Wow. Interesting, yeah.
The list goes on. I think there should be at least 40, 50 words that we all have in common.
Yeah, probably. Because also the Hungarians, Magyar, they came from the Central Asia. When I went to Hungary, I asked to the people what they think about their roots and that stuff. Like almost all of them knows their roots. They say, yeah, we came from Asia, like Arpad dynasty, like Huns, Attila. Like people in Turkey, we see them as our relatives there, living in Europe. Like how you see us, how you see us, we see them. Like they go even further. Yeah, as you said, you lost your like you gave up on some things. Like Hungarians gave up even more.
Yeah,
migrated
but they
even
got
further.
even more. Yeah, they got even more.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they lost Transylvania, so
Yeah,
that's an unfortunate history.
yeah. To Romanians, huh?
Yes.
So, my list is finished. I mean, in any time we are now almost on 2 hours and half an hour.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, nice.
yeah, I keep you so much. I'm sorry
Oh, no
about
worries,
it,
no worries,
but it was a
no worries.
pleasure for me to have
It was a yeah
this kind of chat with you, discussion with you. Thank you for
for me as
coming
well,
here.
and thank you for having me.
I gained a friend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
arkadaş.
Arkadaş.
Or I don't know, dostum, you say as well.
Dostum. Yeah. Arkadaş like friend. Dost is also friend.
Yeah.
To the viewers, I have to say a couple things in Turkish with your permission, please.
Oh, please, sure, yeah, please.
Evet, izlediğiniz için herkese teşekkür ediyorum. Biraz da yoruldum. Bozuk bir İngilizce ile de konuştum. Yeri geldi. Battur'un kanalı şu anda chatte görebiliyorsunuz. Ayrıca YouTube'da da bunun açıklamasına koyacağım. Orayı da lütfen ziyaret edin. Kendisi çok eğlenceli videolar da çekiyor. Gırtlak müziği üzerine videolar da çekiyor. Dinlediğiniz, izlediğiniz için de ayrıca teşekkür ediyorum. Again, thank you Battur for coming here. You honored us. Thank you for coming here.
You too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, any finishing remarks? Anything you want to say to people in Turkey?
Well, if you'd like to, if you'd like to learn more about your roots, I highly suggest you to go to Mongolia someday. Yeah. And in our museums, we have a lot of artifacts that date back to the empire, and a lot of items, a lot of things, and all those interesting things. And you would know from which region, from which land they got it from. And if you learn about those things, you can go to that land, check where your ancestors used to live, and I think you would appreciate it a lot. Exactly. Because the nature, well, you might click somehow. I believe. Yeah. Mongolia can be like a heaven for nomads. Really.
Yeah. It's in my bucket list, and I want to go to Mongolia and travel there, see where my ancestors lived. I want to see the monoliths I told you about. I want to see Mongolia before I die. I hope so.
Yeah. Or maybe you can do it in the next life.
Yeah. Maybe. So, thank you for coming here.
Teşekkür.
Let's say goodbye in Mongolian to viewers.
Oh, okay. Başta. Oh, sorry. Başta.
Başta.
Başta.
All right, başta.
Okay. Bye.